By the pricking of my thumbs, something witchy this way comes. Ill winds mark its fearsome flight, and autumn branches creak with fright. The landscape turns to ashen crumbs when something witchy this way comes. Crystal water turns to dark where'er its presence leave its mark, and boiling currents pound like drums when something witchy this way comes. A presence dark invades the fair and gives the horses ample scare, for chaos reigns and panic numbs when something witchy this way comes. Good evening, folks. This is Something Witchy, and you are live tonight with Onyx Moon, your host. I really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I've got a really great show for you. I've got some facilitators of Daughters of the Moon, the Black Witch Convention, here with me tonight to discuss what this wonderful event sounds like and what it's for and why they're doing it. So I would like to first introduce you to Mama Omi and Anne. Thank you very much for being here tonight, ladies, and say hello.
Hello.
Greetings, everyone.
It's great that you could join me tonight, and I really appreciate you being here. I've looked over the event and everything, and it sounds like a wonderful event. But I'd like the people to know who's putting this on first. So if y'all wouldn't mind, tell everybody a little bit about yourselves.
Okay, well, hi, everyone. My name is Omitolo Ogunshina, affectionately known as Mama Omi of Divine Waters. Daughters of the Moon Black Witch Convention is a collaborative idea that 7 people are involved in creating, and we are having it in Baltimore, October 29th. And so we are looking forward to bringing together women of color to celebrate the magic within us. Anne?
Yes, this is something that we've always discussed, but Mama Omi, came with the vision to want to do it live. So when she told me this, we ran with it, and the response has been great. This is something that is near and dear to all of our hearts because down inside, everyone has some magic. Everyone has some wisdom. Everyone is a witch, whether they know it or not. And so we want to bring together women of color, especially because it seems like it's hard for us at times to join local covens, or most of us are solitary, or we're in some type of religious, or we're into a spiritual group where we are still limited in how we practice. So this convention is for us to come together and be ourselves, let our hair down, learn about some, different paths, learn about who might be in your local area, and to come together in a big coven or this convention that we are, so excited to bring to the people on October 29th.
What a wonderful time of year for something like that to come together, too. Sounds like a great time of year for that because that's when, people, kind of get into their witchy mood. And so I think that's a wonderful time with Samhain and the beginning of the witch's year and that kind of thing. That's a wonderful time of year to do that.
Absolutely, and we also planned it for the new moon. So we took all of that into consideration and just said, that will just help to elevate the energy, elevate the power, elevate the sisterhood. And so when we looked at planning it, we wanted to do it at a time when we felt like the energies would be right. And so when we divined on the date and we took into account everything that was happening around that time, we went for it. And it seems to be getting a very, very good response. Everybody's excited about it. It's actually getting a greater response than I had ever thought it would get. So it's making me even more excited as to what we can do for the future.
Absolutely. And I think it's probably because people are really searching now. They're really searching for a way to get involved in their communities, especially the magical communities, because it's been hard. For pagans of any color, I think it's been harder and harder to try to find like-minded people that they can actually connect with. And to do this, specifically for women of color, to be able to do that with your sisters and bring people together under a safe umbrella, so to speak, and let them help them to find their ways to their divine and to their goddess. I think you are going to get such a response from that because it's something that's been needed. It's needed in the communities, and I think it's wonderful that you're doing that.
And we took all of that into consideration. One thing, because Ann and I both do healing work, and both of us, we specifically work with women. And we hear a lot of women tell us that, they don't have a community where they are. Whether, they can't tell their family a lot of things because their family may be very strictly Christian or whatever other path they may follow, and they can't really communicate and say, okay, this is what I'm dreaming, this is what I'm seeing, this is what interests me. And so they feel very isolated in their cities and towns, and they don't really feel like they have a community. The thing that we always tell women is that, a lot of times we don't really speak up. We don't really speak out and say what we're going through, so we don't realize that there are people closer than we know that are going through the same thing or have the same interests, but because we're scared to speak out, because we don't want somebody to look at us like we're crazy or we don't want to be attacked, we end up putting ourselves in a shell. So the Daughters of the Moon Convention is really saying it's time to come out of that shell. It's time to stop feeling like you're doing something wrong. It's time to stop feeling like you can't have the freedom to be yourself. You can't have the freedom of expression. You can't have the freedom to just live your journey and live your path the way you're supposed to. So we are focusing on women of color because we just don't see enough for us in our communities. We don't see enough of this happening for us in our communities. We tend to have to venture out of our communities to find out information. And so just to bring us all together and to be able to share like experience, to be able to talk about our past, to be able to just have that genuine sisterhood is just another reason why we just said, okay, this has to happen, because there are a lot of us who are undercover witches.
Right.
And you may not necessarily use that word in your house because, your mama's the first lady of the church, your daddy is the pastor, your uncle's the deacon, your auntie's a deaconess, and they're going to whip out the holy water and beat you with the Bible and whatever else. So you really don't say too much about that. And so we just feel like it's really just time to just come out and say, this is who I am. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm worshiping all aspects of the divine.
Right.
And not limiting myself to, what I've been taught all my life. I'm realizing there's so much more to the divine than this little itty bitty piece that I have been taught that really has not fed my spirit. So we're telling women, do what feeds your spirit. Do what makes you happy. Do what feeds your soul.
Yes, absolutely. I believe that there's been a large gap that you're filling with this need. It's absolutely into the communities, and I completely understand that. And to be able to do it in such a way that they feel confident in what their guides are sending to them, in, like you said, what they're dreaming about, what they're doing, being able to validate that in community, in tribe like that, is going to be such a wonderful thing for so many people that probably are just not comfortable being out for all the reasons that you just said. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to give people, and especially women, the ability to find their path and find themselves and follow their spirit guides and their ancestors, and dig back and find out where that spirituality, where that spark is actually coming from, instead of being, like you said, kind of tied down to just what they've learned, um, in this life. I'm a big believer in reincarnation, and I don't know where you guys stand on that, but I really feel that a lot of people that are being drawn to paganism or being drawn to this kind of spirituality are getting it from not just their guides and the goddess and the people that are doing that, but I really think some of it's kind of a throwback to possibly a previous life, that there's a spark there, and that's why they don't understand. Well, I wasn't raised like that. Where's this coming from? It's because it's part of your soul. And so to be able to allow your soul to grow and move forward and do it in a safe environment like you're doing for these women is phenomenal.
Onyx Moon, I'm going to add to what you said. It's like putting together, it's a big chunk missing. And it's twofold, and you just mentioned it. A lot of us, it is past lives. For me personally, my past lives, this has always been my walk. This is the only life in the last, I'm going to say, maybe last several incarnations. I'll just give that, as a broad number, where this is the one where I know I won't be persecuted.
Right.
I'm able to walk my truth and follow my path the way I'm supposed to. And when you know that deep in your bones and your soul and your spirit just knows, you have no choice but to walk in truth.
Exactly.
And a lot of us, we have pagan traditions. The problem is grandmother was real hush about it. She didn't tell nobody that her Psalms in her book her Bible was marked because it had spells.
Oh, yes.
Throwing salt around the house, or putting together a sugar jar, or lighting candles and going out and doing moon work. They didn't discuss those kinds of things, even though she might have been the first lady or the deacon at the church. She might have been, someone in a prominent prominent position in her neighborhood, in her community, where she didn't want anyone to know, but everybody knows that one person that goes to the root worker,
right,
who goes to the local witch or the shaman to get healing work or get some work done. It's just a matter of it's been so hush-hush, and we're in a stage where hush-hush isn't going to get it any longer. We have to be vocal. You have to come out of the proverbial broom closet.
Right.
You're going to have to walk your path and hold your head high and speak your truth. And that's something that, whether you come to the convention or not, you have to know to stand firm and walk your truth.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of us have had those granny witch experiences, or, the great aunties and that kind of thing that, like you said, you didn't ask, you just watched. Yeah, you knew what they were doing something, and you just, because you said it was not spoke to. I'm in Florida. I'm in Central Florida now, but my heritage is a little bit of southern root work and stuff, and it came from my great aunts and my grandmother and my great grandmother, that were on the like the border of Florida and Georgia. So it's actually more southern than South Florida. So up that way.
Mom, always cousins. They're from that area too.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if people knew they came from like the Madison Perry area, and so I was up there at their knees watching things that, I knew better than to ask what they were, but I always knew it was, there was something going on. So, yes, Yeah. So we know that. We know that people came to so and so's house for something, and you didn't ask what they were stirring up into that cup of whatever and doing. No, you just didn't do that. So to be able to reach back and reach out and actually embrace that heritage that has come from somewhere, whether it be your past life or whether it be even in this life, your ancestors that are always beside us and guiding us. And to acknowledge that and let your spirit do that, that's just a wonderful thing. So I I, I wish I could come to this convention, but I will be there in heart.
Oh,
I will be there in heart.
well, the energy is welcome.
Absolutely, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I do. I kind of got a little bit goosebumps with that.
We are going to be in Maryland. We're going to be in the Baltimore area. We're going to be at the Wisdom Bookstore reception hall. We're actually just outside the city limits. It's Gwynn Oaks, which is just outside the city limits of Baltimore.
Okay.
But we have a beautiful reception hall that is going to allow us to have vendors, workshops, and a luncheon, as well as some featured speakers that we have coming. We have Ielosa Oshunyemi Akalatunde, who is a Oshun priestess in the Yoruba practice of Ifa, and she actually teaches courses on Black witchcraft. We also have the Queen Mother Imaku, who is she's a high priestess, a high Kemetic priestess. She has a temple. She also does lessons on the African origins of the word witch, and also where witchcraft is in Africa and how that comes into our indigenous tradition. So having these two ladies already committed to participating in this event, we are so honored to welcome them.
That sounds wonderful. And I do know that area. My son-in-law was stationed in Maryland, right out that area. So I know I did get to go drive around in some of it. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So that will add to that wonderful energy. Absolutely. I was going to ask about why for the women of color, but you've kind of answered that. Unless you want to expand on that a little bit.
Um, Really, like I said, we wanted to focus on women of color just for the simple fact that we don't have quite as many outlets, and we don't have quite as much of a show of presence when it comes to talking about practicing witchcraft and getting them to understand that this is our indigenous tradition. With me being an Abarisha, which means a follower of the Orishas, in Ifa, I'm a daughter of Yemenja, and Yemenja, Oshun, and Oya are all considered to be great witches.
Right.
And so just getting them to understand that this is who we are, this is part of our culture, this is part of our walk, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Unfortunately, I think with all indigenous cultures, no matter the color of the skin, once conventional religion came in, they taught us that our indigenous ways were satanic. They taught us that our indigenous ways was not godly, it was not righteousness. And really, when you look at indigenous traditions, you find more spirituality. You find a deeper connection to God because you understand that God is everywhere, no matter by what name, if it's a god or if it's a goddess, if it's Yemenja, if it's Heru, if it, whatever names you get, God is everywhere. That divine energy is in everything. So sometimes I find myself having to remind certain people that indigenous traditions are much closer to me to that divine energy because we see it in everything that we do. We see it in each other. We see it in our walk. We see it in our sleep. We see it in our, everything that we touch, we see is something that comes from the divine. So we wanted to bring these sisters out to get them to understand that by coming together and acknowledging yourself and acknowledging who you are, you're also opening up a door and a greater understanding to that divine energy that creates us all and connects us all.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to have to stop you for a minute. We're to our first commercial break set, and so we've got lots more to talk about. So, folks, stick around for some words for our sponsors, and we'll be right back with more. Looking for authentic pagan wares? Then check out Onyx Moon Emporium, where they offer an eclectic mix of metaphysical and spiritual related items, handcrafted using old recipes and traditions, where everything is created in small batches by authentic and experienced practitioners. Their promise to customers is authenticity. From witchy items, conjure goods, setting of lights, to a wide selection of magical and conditioned oils. Also handcrafted wooden grimoires and journals, made to order magical candles in all shapes, sizes, and intents. From angel kits to gree-gree, herbs and curios, from naughty to nice and everything in between. Many items are custom made, so they are uniquely yours. Special orders welcome, and if you have an idea for something you're not finding, they're happy to work with you. Need an oil that's not listed? A spell you can't find? Looking for that hard-to-find herb or curio? They probably have it, or they can make it. Visit them at onyxmoonemporium.com or find them on Facebook. Onyx Moon Emporium. From angels to Zen, find everything for your magical life. Are you looking for something special? For something more than mass-produced and ineffective magical wares? Then let me tell you about Beau Magique, with their wonderfully unique magical wares carefully handcrafted in small batches. From her charged waters using artisan well water gathered under the full moon, to their authentically crafted conjure and anointing oils, powders, and more. All handcrafted by Reverend Terry Brookins, using old and new recipes and super secret sources to be able to share her own brand of magic with everyone. Visit beaumagique.com. That's BEAUXMAGIQUE.com. Visit today. This is what you've been looking for. All right, folks, welcome back again to Something Witchy with Onyx Moon. And I have Mama Omi and Ann here from Daughters of the Moon Black Witch Convention. And boy, that's a tongue twister for me tonight. I'm sorry. The Black Witch Convention. There we go. I'll get it spit out here. Live radio, you know. Anyway, I am so happy, that the information that you're getting tonight is an amazing thing, and you definitely need to check it out. I will make sure to post links to their event page for this so you can get some information. But I'm going to ask them about some more information now. What kind of things are the attendees there? What can they expect? What do you have planned for doing this wonderful convention?
Well, one of the things they can expect is some great workshops. Right now we're accepting applications from those who are interested in hosting a workshop. So we have sisters who are going to be coming in, doing workshops on how to do oracle readings. They're going to be talking about healing. They're going to be talking about ancestral altars, ancestral worship. So some will be coming in talking about the divine feminine energy. And we also have some great speakers, like I mentioned before. I know Ialoso Oshinyime Kalatunde is going to be talking about the metaphysical aspect of the Black woman, as well as the Queen Mother Imaku is going to be coming with us with a deeper understanding of the word witch. We also have a luncheon that's going to be happening during the convention, where we're going to have the panel, which will include our elders, to come in and actually have a luncheon and be able to ask, have the attendees ask questions and get some really good answers. And I'm very happy that we will have a great number of elders participating in this who have been doing the work for 20, 30 plus years. And we really want to make it clear that for this convention, it doesn't matter what level of witch you are, whether you're a newbie, whether you're seasoned, whether you're in between. The point is coming together and learn, and coming together and connecting with others. There's always, I think everybody on the line can agree, there's always something new to learn and to, be introduced to. So it doesn't matter what level you're at. The point is that connection and that sisterhood. And we plan on having a great number of vendors coming out and being able to, allow everybody to get their supplies, as well as giving them access or to have access to a great number of businesses in the area that they can also patronize while they're here. So we're still in the planning stages. We're very glad that we announced this early, but everything is coming together in a way I never expected. I'm kind of in awe at the response. So, but everything is coming together, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day.
It sounds like it. So is it just a single day event?
It started out it started out as a single day event, but we are looking to, because we have people traveling in from out of town,
right?
We are looking at possibly having an after party or having some type of brunch or luncheon before everybody leaves. So we haven't finalized everything, but we are looking at adding something else into the picture just based on the response that we've gotten. So, but at this time, it is a one-day event with possible surprises.
Wonderful. It sounds interesting and intriguing, and I can't wait to see how this grows and comes to fruition the closer it gets. I'm going to imagine that we should make sure that people can find your Facebook page for the event, and I'm sure they can keep up with it there and find out about tickets and information. And I imagine you'll have places there that people that might want to vend can get a hold of you and that sort of thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. If they go to the Daughters of the Moon, and you spell Daughters DAWAT. And how do you spell Daughters? DAWTA. I'm sorry, I got stuck for a minute. So you spell Daughters DAWTAS of the Moon, Black Witch Convention, and just look us up on Facebook. We have the event page as well as the business page. So we're putting announcements on both pages. And you also will find the link to the Eventbrite where you can purchase your ticket. And the ticket does include the luncheon. So you'll find information on how to purchase a ticket. You'll also find information on how to submit an application if you would like to be a vendor or do a workshop. And then once you fill out those applications, you'll be speaking with either Ann or myself as we make a decision as to who will be able to do a workshop this year.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so we'll definitely make sure our listeners have that link, and we'll get that up on our station Facebook page too, so we can help you promote that for you. It sounds like it's going to be a wonderfully spiritual, growing event, and yes, and I think you'll be amazed at how it's going to come together, truly.
Well, I really appreciate you all helping to promote the event, and I appreciate, you all taking time out to allow us to come on to speak about the event. We appreciate any and all support. So, thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I will put this out here now that if you guys want to come back when you get a little closer and you've got things a little bit more nailed down so we can let everybody know where it's going or how much it's grown, I'd love to have you back on sometime for that.
Oh, we were honored to come back, so that is not an issue.
Lovely.
Um, you know, as Mama Omi said, this is something that, but we have to remember when you put an idea out there and you can see the vision, we have to expect that it's going to manifest bigger in the physical state. So, you know, as time progresses, it's organically flowing very well. And this is something that if you're on the fence about it now in June, come October, you should know that you're going to be there because your ticket has already been purchased and you've already made your travel arrangements. This is something that you're not going to want. You're not going to want to miss. It's really going to be something. I don't want to say epic, like it's going to be like the next thing to slice bread, but it's going to be something that will leave you feeling fulfilled and bubbling over with new questions and new ideas and new things that you want to take back home with you and add to your repertoire of, increasing your growth and understanding of self and, a witch state of mind.
Absolutely, yes. And I know you don't want to use the word epic, but I really think that for people, being able to find that tribe, that community of people that they could be around and let their spirit open up, I think it will be epic for more reasons than you imagine. I think it's going to be epic spiritually for the people that attend it, the people that facilitate, the people that are giving workshops. I know I just came back from an event that was like a first time thing. And the amount of spirituality when you get people like that together for something like this that is meant to open, and like you said, when you put that out there, universe is going to make things happen. So I have a feeling that people will leave there saying it was epic. It might not be, 3 days of crazy fun fest, but it's going to be epic spiritually. I just know that.
Well, and our goal is to have it grow each year. We want to come back next year. We want to keep it native to the DC area, and we want to watch it grow each year. So I think the reason why I know the reason why I only did one day this time is because, like I said, I didn't realize the amount of response that we were going to get. And so, like I said, it's actually, I'm loving it. I appreciate it. I welcome, but it's actually flooring me a little bit. So I look forward to bringing it back next year with the planning committee that I put together. So it's me, it's Ann, it's Magic Moya, which is a trio that's also native to the DMV area, mother, daughter, and auntie. And then we have my two apprentices who, all of us are coming together and saying, look, it's time. This has got to go down. This has got to happen. So having these group of women working with me and, just being able to come to them with this vision and them not saying, okay, are you crazy? And they even surprised. It was like, yeah, let's do it. It's about time. Let's get it done. So knowing that I had that type of support from the get-go and then seeing how it's just exploded from day one, having shared it on Facebook, and even we've had a few negative shots, but it's so funny because those negative shots became positive because from those posts, we ended up getting inbox requests and likes on the page and inquiries as to how could people become a vendor or a speaker. So we went to some of those negative posts and said, okay, thank you for advertising.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just been very, very grateful, and to have people reach out to us and say we want to participate, we want to do this. That has just really amazed us too.
Yep, I can well imagine, and that's that old saying, no, no press is bad press. That it's all good press, even when somebody's being a negative Nelly. Because then it's gonna get the word out there. So,
Right.
so that it turns into a kind of a blessing on the end, and that probably aggravates them more. But I think
Well,
I think it's poetic that
we're
way.
getting. Oh, it's always, and people feel that, but people, their bad press, like you said, becomes good press, and it's gotten us where we've gotten responses from people overseas as well. They physically can't be here, but they want to see how they can assist, either through offering comp tickets, or spreading the word, making sure that people know that we're here, and they can help any way they can. And we're grateful for the community reaching back and uh assisting us in this matter, as so we're grateful for that. And I want to mention, Mama Omi was mentioning some of those of us who are bringing this to fruition. And Mama Omi, she's from Divine Waters, and I'm from Moonlit Journeys, and I'm a soul engineer, intuitive, and I assist people in that light. And then she mentioned Magic Moja, which is a matrilineal coven of two sisters, Celissa Brown and Lola Hall, as well as their daughter, as mother-daughter, Lola Hall and Bree Hall. And, they're doing ancestor work in the Maryland area. And then we have Shalita McCann of Yoni Dreams and Desires, who, is bringing out, new things and rediscovering central healing in the Maryland area. And, Ayana Barmore of Sahu Two Sons, who's an apothecarius who creates magical items, for everyday needs. And, our group of women who are in this planning community and making this come to fruition, we all are using the same goal of expressing ourselves and not shying away from our true path. And so I just wanted to mention the women who are, behind the scenes and bringing this event together so that it can be something that people can say, that's what we're doing next year. We are planning to come back. The way you all did this and the people that were there, it is a coven, it is a family, and we want to make it an annual event. And that is the whole purpose of this, is to keep it an annual event and a safe haven for those who are out, or those who are, wanting to, peep out the broom closet and see what's going on and find familiar faces.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, we are at our second commercial break, so we will stop here for just a second, and we'll come back and finish up. So stick around, folks. We've got another word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. Is your ritual cloak ready for the rag bend? Are your guest towels sad and worn? Is your tote bag begging to retire? Then you need Twitch's Stitches. Twitch's Stitches is a custom embroidery shop with a pagan flair. From the classics and everyday designs to ornate ritual style, fantasy, furries, mythical, and so much more. They do t-shirts, ritual capes and cloaks, sweats, towels, blankets, hoodies, totes, and more. You name it, Twitch's Stitches can embroider it. And they love custom orders, so if you don't find what you're looking for, they're only a phone call or a message away. So if you want quality items lovingly crafted and embroidered, you have to check them out on Facebook. And that's www.facebook.com/Twitches Stitches. That's TWITCHES However, we can't be held responsible when your friends and family try to swipe them, so tell them to get their own. Twitches Stitches, for the love of design. Have you been searching for that perfect candle for your project or working? How about for a specific intent? Something other than the big box store candles made from mystery wax? Then look no further. Visit the Waxing Witch on Etsy for the best selection of handcrafted candles anywhere. Pillars, votives, shaped, plus some giftable candles you won't believe. All their candles are made in-house using a variety of waxes: soy, palm, beeswax, paraffin, and all are clearly noted in the listing, so there's no mystery wax here. From a whole line of saints candles to archangel working candles, and you have to see the new Wicked Wonderland spell candles. They're made to work wickedly quick and wonderfully easy. Or the fun new Sanderson sister pillars. Those are a hoot. And I can't forget their skull candles. These are phenomenal. The burn is beautiful, and I really won't work a trick without one. But that's not all. Any candle can be customized with a scent of your choice, or even color if you prefer something different. They love special orders and will work with you to make your candle the way you want it. They do unity candles, hand fasting candles, or candles made for events, so don't hesitate to ask. You won't find folks easier to deal with, and they all come from their little shop on a Louisiana bayou. So do yourself a favor. Check them out on Etsy at The Waxing Witch. That's The Waxing Witch, witch spelled W-Y-T-C-H. Tell them PBNR sent you for a little surprise with your order. All right. Thanks for sticking around listening to our sponsors. And now we are back with something witchy here with Ann and Mama Omi from Daughters of the Moon Black Witch Convention. And we've gotten a lot of information out tonight about this wonderful convention, and we will get more out. But I'm really curious, how did this all come about? How did this come together? What was the story behind how you decided to do this?
Well, as I said earlier, Ann and I do a lot of work with healing, helping women connect to their divine energy, womb healing. Ann is an intuitive reader and things like that. So both of us have had women come to us and say, I don't have a community. I don't have someone I can connect with. Last year, we planned an Enter the Womb conference, and that was another one-day event. And we wanted to come back this year and plan it, but it didn't quite work out. So we were still looking for a way to bring sisters together. But we wanted to take it to the next level. We wanted to elevate it. We wanted it to be about sisterhood, healing, spirituality, learning to get in touch with the magic in yourself. We wanted it to include all that. So I called her and I said, well, what if we do a Black Witch Convention? And she was all on it. She even, sent me some little things to confirm that the timing was absolutely right. And so I thought about other sisters that I could get involved, which that's how Magic Moya, the trio that she mentioned before, my two apprentices, and I brought the idea to them, and they were very excited. And the biggest comment, or the most popular comment, was, "It's time." And I think that's just what everybody's feeling right now. It's just time. We see a lot of us walking away from, conventional religion because it's not feeding our spirit. And so when we, did the meditations, when we divined on it, when we, I talked to my Ianifa to see what she thought about it, which is she's my godmother, my high priestess, to see what she thought about it. She's my elder, and she was all in for it. That just kind of gave me a confirmation that, yeah, this is something for us to do.
Well, absolutely, and that's a wonderful process to kind of come together with that and have it grow from something else. I really think you guys are going to do wonderful things with this workshop for people. With the workshop, the convention, I think it's absolutely something needed, and we wish you only the best with that. I can't wait to see how it grows. I can't wait to see how it all comes together, and I hope you guys will keep us posted so we can watch you grow and support our sisters in spirit, and looking forward to hearing all about it.
Well, again, I'd like to thank you very much for having us on and for allowing us to use your forum to talk about Daughters of the Moon Black Witch Convention again. If anyone is interested, they can go to our Facebook page. They can also go to our event page. It will lead them to our Eventbrite page. And they can inbox us. And we also have a Gmail, which is Dawtas, Dawtas, of the moon at gmail.com if there are any questions. And if you forget that, like I said, you can inbox us, and either Ann or myself will respond to you.
Wonderful. So that way they can get their questions answered and help spread the word as well. All right, folks. I thank you for coming tonight and listening to this wonderful convention information. Ann and Mama Omi, I really appreciate your time and coming and talking with us about it and sharing this wonderful event. And we will help you share it. And to the listeners, don't forget to check it out. We'll have this up on YouTube probably tomorrow. And other than that, this has been Onyx Moon with Something Witchy, and y'all have a good night.
Good night.